All right, Mr. Orlando Canizales, thank you very much for coming on to theboxingbar.com and welcome, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
First question, day one. Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Laredo, Texas, in November 25th, 1965.
What was it like there growing up as a kid?
I'm the youngest of five boys, and I was kind of the gopher, go for this, go for that. I'm the youngest, and it was all right. I mean, the neighborhood where I grew up was really good. I mean, it wasn't that bad, and it was close to the Bush Club, which is like the Bush Club was 2 blocks away from where I was raised, and that's where I spent most of my time after school. I would go to the Bush Clubs.
And what was home life like? What was it like there at home with your siblings and your parents? Were you guys pretty close as a family?
Oh yeah, well, my parents they were really we were really close. We're a close family. We always have good advice from my parents and also my brothers. So I mean, we had I had a good good life when I was growing up.
What about school life? What were you like in school as far as a student, and what were you like in school with other students and other kids?
I would get along with everyone. I mean, as a matter of fact, the school was across the street where I used to live. I mean, I was born and raised like across the street where I was born, and the school, like I said, I would just walk. And the school, I mean, I was a good student. I mean, I wouldn't get in trouble. I mean, life was good. I mean, good student. I would get A's and B's, and once in a while I get C's. But other than that, it was good.
You got into boxing at the age of, what, about 10 years old. How did that fall into your life? How did that come into your life?
Well, as a matter of fact, we it all started at the Boys and Girls Club. I mean, we used to go. My brother Gabby and I, we used to go to the Boys Clubs, and one day we just there was this person. His name is Mr. Jesse Herrera, who is now he's passed away. But he told me, hey, we want to put the gloves on, so we just volunteer, and that's how it all started.
And when did you decide to go ahead and start your amateur career? How did that happen, and how did you do as an amateur?
Well, I mean, he started because of my brother Gabby. He was the one that started first. He's 5, 6 years older than me, and he was the one that started going to the gym and started fighting. And then I tried it. I went one time. I went to the gym with him, and that's how that's how I started because of him.
When you finished your amateur career, what was your record?
I had 120 amateur fights. I won 180, lost 12. I fought several Golden Gloves and won several regional Golden Gloves, and then I won the state Golden Gloves, and then went to the nationals and lost in the semifinals, and almost hurting the national Golden Gloves. So, I mean, I had a good amateur career.
Wow, and at what point did you decide to stop your amateur career and go on to the pros?
Well, I mean, when I turned 18 after the Olympics, I mean, I wasn't going to wait another 4 years to try for the Olympics. So when I turned 18, I said, well, I mean, I'm going to give it a try. And also, my former manager, Mr. Robert Spagnola, he was after me for a while. He wanted me to go to Houston to sign with him as a professional. But I didn't do it until I was 18.
And on the night of your pro debut on August 25th, 1984, there in Laredo, you were going to debut on the undercard of your brother Gabby, making a title defense against Calvin Seabrook, who you would later fight for the title with. How did it feel, and was it added pressure knowing that you're going to fight on the undercard of your brother and there in Laredo, Texas?
Yeah, well, there was a lot of pressure. Gabby was going to fight for the USBA title and be my first professional fight, I guess. And there was a lot of pressure because people were expected to win and a lot expected good things from you. So yeah, there was a lot of pressure, but also I was excited that I was being able to make my pro debut here in my hometown, Laredo, Texas.
And what do you remember about your pro debut, the actual day, when you were in the locker room before you went through the drapes for the first time? Were you nervous? Were you scared? What were your feelings at that moment?
Well, I wasn't really. I mean, I guess it's like I had goosebumps but other than that, I was excited, because like I said, I was fighting my hometown and being my first fight. I mean, there was in front of a lot of people, and so in a way, I was excited, and then of course I had goosebumps and planning to do good because I was fighting my hometown.
You won that fight, but after it, was there a lot of differences that you saw from the amateurs to the pros, as far as no headgear and lighter gloves, but at the same time, your hands might fly more, but you're going to be receiving harder shots? Was there a big difference to you?
Well, I mean, there's a difference in that aspect that, well, there was no head here and smaller gloves, but, it's still boxing. I mean, I've been training for professional for almost 8 years, so, or as an amateur rather, I was an amateur for 8 years, so I had a lot of experience and I felt comfortable with it, but I know it was a little bit different, back, being a professional without head and stuff, but I knew more or less what to expect because, like I said, I've been in the sport for a while. Time already.
On your 13th fight, you fought Olympian Paul Gonzalez, and you got your first loss on that day. What do you remember about that fight against Paul Gonzalez, who was the Olympic champion?
Being my first big title fight, I was kind of nervous and also excited at the same time, being that I was getting the opportunity to fight for an NEBA national title, a North American title, and fighting the Olympian. But I mean, it was a good fight. I mean, it was a learning experience for me. I learned a lot from that fight. I mean, I didn't know, we expected it was going to be outdoors. I thought it was going to be indoors. So I mean, I don't want to make excuses, but it did affect me a little bit, being that it was outdoors.
And several fights up, you get your chance to fight for a world title. You fight Calvin Seabrooks, who we talked about, that your brother defended against on the same card as your pro debut. What was it like knowing that you were going to finally get your chance to fight for the title before that fight happened? What were your feelings, or what was it like when you got that call or that notice that you were going to be getting this dream shot for a world title?
Well, prior to that one, I had fought for the USBA junior bantamweight title against Lewis Curtis. I beat him and knocked him out, and then I got the phone call, and that was going to be, and that's my goal. I wanted to be a world champion like my brother, and excuse me, and well, that was my goal, and then the opportunity knocks that they offered me to fight for the bantamweight title, and I'm just glad and happy that they gave me a chance to fight for the title, and I took the opportunity.
What do you think of him as a competitor in that fight? Was it one of your toughest fights? You won by TKO in the 15th round. What was it? What was Calvin Seabrooks like as a fighter?
I mean, he's a tough guy. I mean, he never gave up. I mean, he put up a good fight, and like I said, he's a tough guy. He was a tough guy. I mean, he fought all over the world and defending the title for, I don't know, about 6 times across overseas, and so, like I said, I mean, he's a tough guy, and he was a tough fighter.
And after you fought him, you fought Jimmy Navarro, knocked him out in the first round, and then you again fought Seabrooks. You would go on, and eventually, a few fights up, you fought Paul Gonzalez again to get the rematch. You knocked him out in the second round. How did it feel like to get that avenged loss off of you?
Well, I mean, it's always sweet when you get when you be able to avenge losses. I mean, I think I did it like 2-3 times on my losses. I was able to avenge those losses. But it's always sweet, and I felt, being that I was a world champion, and it was my title, and it's not his title, so it was something that, something that I had to prove myself, and I went out there and did what I had to do to win.
You had a record. You had a record of 16 title defenses as a bantamweight. I mean, I believe that record still stands. How does it feel knowing that you still have a record, or you got to a peak like that high in your career?
Well, I mean, it's really exciting, and just I'm very proud of it. I mean, it's like it's not like every day you kind of break records, and so I'm really excited and really thrilled about it, and really, like I said, proud of it that I wasn't, I didn't lose my title in the ring. I left my title to move up to another weight class, so that's also something I'm proud of. That I never lost my titles, but it's something that I know. I understand that records are meant to be broken, but hopefully not soon. Yeah.
And that's true. And you go up in weight, like you said, and you fought with Fredo Vasquez. What was that fight like with the great champion like Vasquez was?
Well, I mean, I expected a tough fight for Vasquez, even though that he was at his later peak of his career, and he was around like 35. But he it was a tough fight. I didn't expect him to be as quick as I thought he was. But I mean, I underestimated him, and but it was that was one of the toughest fights. His one of the hardest punches that I ever fought.
And you would fight on after that Vasquez fight for another 4 years until 1999. At what point did you decide to say, you know what, this is it, and maybe it's time to hang him up?
Well, I feel burned after I fought my last fight in Philadelphia. Just
Against Frankie Toledo.
Yes, I fought Frankie Toledo, and I just felt burned out. I mean, I said, you know what, I think it's time to do other things. And at the age of 33, I just thought, like I said, I think it's time for me to do something else, and that's why I decided to do that after I lost to Frankie Toledo.
And looking back at your career, was there anything that you would change about your career? Looking back, through all those times and all those fights and all those years, is there things that you would say, maybe I should have done this a little different, or are you just content with everything you did and how you did it?
Well, yeah, no, I'm content with what I did. I think maybe now that I think about it, not because I used to spar every day. I think nowadays, now I think I would spar every other day instead of sparring every day. I just think it takes a lot of toll on your body, and I just think that I would do that would be a little bit different now. My training regimen.
But would you be able to say that you reached your goals? That your goals like that you had maybe going into the sport, do you think you reached them or surpassed them?
Well, I think I surpassed them, being that I was able to break the record and make and shatter all kinds of history, or shatter all kinds of records and make history in the sport of boxing. I think I surpassed that, and then being ultimately being inducted to the Boxing Hall of Fame. That was that's the ultimate goal for any fighter, and so I guess I think I surpassed in my accomplishments.
And like nowadays, after all those fights that you might have had, all the sparring sessions and training that you had over all the years that you did, and like we said, all the fights themselves, is there any like hurts or pains or bumps that you feel now after it's all said and done that you say, you know what, this is probably from all the years of boxing? Do you feel any of that stuff?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm still in good shape, in good health, and no, I don't have any side effects to any of that about my boxing career. Not at all.
And one question I gotta ask, I mean, you and your brother were simultaneously world champions in the same weight class, kind of like the Klitschko brothers, I guess I think for the heavyweights right at the moment. Was there ever tensions between you two because you guys were two champions, or is blood, I guess, thicker than water, and that never changed your guys' relationship?
No, that never changed our relationship. My brother and I, we love each other, and we're, like I said, we're a close family, and we never thought about fighting each other or any tensions like that. I mean, I wish him the best, and I did. I hope I hope he would do the best, and he also thought about me the same. I mean, he wished me the best, but like I said, there was never any tensions and who was better or anything like that. It's just that we were just glad that both were champions at the same time.
Were you guys like kings and celebrities there in Laredo during your years as champions?
Oh yes, of course. I mean, people everywhere we go, they recognize us, and they're very proud that we're representing Laredo, in a high standard and being world champions. And it's not like you get a champion any day or any city, and so they're we're very well recognized in the city of Laredo.
Well, there have been the end of 2008 or the beginning of 2009 when you got the notice that you were going to be inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. I mean, that's the elite group that everybody wants to be in when they get into the sport. And you get the call that you're gonna get inducted in. How did you feel like at that moment when you got that notice or phone call that you were going to be inducted?
Oh, I was just so excited. I mean, I was taking a course in the university here in Laredo, and I received a call from Mr. Boney from the Boxing Hall of Fame, and I mean, I was just excited. I mean, I was just so happy and excited that finally I was going to be inducted. I mean, every year I was hoping that and waiting for that call, and when because I thought that one day I would be there, and So he finally arrived, and I was just, like I said, so happy and excited that I was that finally I was going to be inducted.
You know, it feels so good to hear that you're doing well, you're doing fine. You can obviously talk and answer all these questions perfectly. Um, Looking back at it and back at your whole career and your life, and I know you're going to be here for another 100 years, but how do you want Orlando Canizales to be remembered by what I call the three big F's? Your friends, your family, your fans. How do you want Orlando Canizales to be remembered?
Well, I want to be remembered that, as was. I mean, there's been a lot of great fighters at bantamweight, and I just want to be recognized as one of the best fighters in the world, and of course, one of the best. Being like to help out people, and people know that. And it's just that to know that I was a nice, outgoing guy that would, I would go out of my way to help people, and basically, like I said, just to to be recognized as one of the best fighters in the world, and of course, a nice person as well.
And you are, and you do deserve everything you received. And God bless you, and thank you very much for coming on to theboxingbar.com. It was a pleasure, and it was an honor to have you on. And I thank you very much, Mr. Canizales, for doing this.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure. And like I said, I really thank you very much. And like I said, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.